Hello, all my beautiful Coldplay fans out there. We have some of the biggest news that we've gotten from Coldplay in a very long time, and I'm so excited to share that with you. But before we get on to that news, I'm going to kind of recap what's happened this last week regarding tour dates. And even before that, if you haven't done so yet, I would encourage you to please subscribe, because with this new information that we've gotten, there's going to be so much going on this year, and I just love to help you learn about all of that so you're in the know about everything Coldplay. So again, if you wouldn't mind subscribing just so you're notified about all that information, yeah, I would greatly appreciate that. Now let's dive into what is going on with tour. So as we expected, Coldplay did add on to the tour in the US and Canada. Originally, it was planned for 4 different dates, and now we have 7 new dates. Keep in mind that these are not new locations, but they're specifically just adding on to Vancouver, San Diego, and LA. So those dates are September 23rd in Vancouver, September 28th in San Diego, and October 1st in LA, which that date is very tempting. October in LA, seeing Coldplay. I am very tempted to see that one. But all the dates for this, I checked on the app, and I'm pretty sure, last I checked, which was like 20 minutes ago, as of recording this, that all those dates are still available. So if you are interested in getting tickets to one of those 7 shows in the US and Canada, definitely get them as soon as possible, because we don't know how long those are going to be there. We don't even know if Coldplay is going to be adding any more tours, dates, like locations to the US or Canada. Speaking of that, these are only on the West Coast, right? Coldplay has so much on their plates with tour, with songwriting, with this new album, and I honestly don't know how they get it all done with tour, so I wouldn't expect them to be playing in any new locations, but I'm very much hoping that they'll be more on the east side, middle of the States a little bit, so it's easier for me to get to. But other than that, very exciting news that they're actually adding on, and we'll see if they'll add more later. Now, the next thing that I wanted to talk about in this video is some interviews that they've had. They have had like a bunch of interviews recently, and there are specifically 2 that I wanted to point out. Shout out to Coldplay on Twitter also, who's been just posting about all of them, and that's basically where I find out about their interviews, so definitely go follow them. So the first interview that I wanted to go over is one that was done with this guy who was talking about the San Diego performances that they'll be having. So again, that's in September, right? And so this person was like, do you have anything special in mind, or are you planning anything theatrically interesting in San Diego when you're here in September? And Chris replied 2 things. He said, we'll be playing a new song by then, and also the visuals on the wristbands will look amazing with it. So that made me think. I'm like, okay, if they're going to be releasing a new song, first of all, that's super exciting and kind of expected. Hopefully that they'll have a new song by September. But the fact that he specifically mentioned that the wristbands are going to have something to do with it really piqued my interest. And I thought about that. I'm like, what could that be? You know, is it going to be like a starburst effect, or possibly like a wave? And I was like, wait a second. What if they had this really cool wave effect in honor of the song A Wave? Now, this is obviously just speculation, but I think it would be incredible if they played with that, since they have these wristbands. And not only just like a circle effect, you know, but like actually looked like a tidal wave with the audience. How amazing that would be, right? So these are just thoughts. But it's exciting that we're going to be getting a new song regardless by September. If I were to bet, I'd say that we'll probably get a new song even before then. Again, tour starts in March, I believe it is. So I think it's like March 18th. Correct me if I'm wrong somewhere on the screen. But maybe we'll even get a song early, like in March, April, May, sometime around there. Those are just my guesses, but exciting news, new song. Now, the next interview that I wanted to go over is the big one. The thing that we've been waiting for forever now, or it seems like it's been forever now. But essentially, Chris was asked something like, can you tell me about the creative process of the new music that you've been working on? And he replied, we're finishing an album called Moon Music, which is the second Music of the Spheres volume, but that won't come out for a bit. We might be playing some songs at some point this year. So, a lot to take in there. First of all, the new album is going to be called Moon Music, which is a cool title, have no problem with it. Second thing is that this is, of course, still in relation to Music of the Spheres. So this is continuing on with all that background, all these characters and all that, and just expanding it, which is awesome, right? We have all these languages, all these planets, and now we're getting more of it. Then the other thing I wanted to say is that he mentioned it won't come out for a bit, which, I mean, is very open. A bit could be a few weeks, a bit could be August, you know? So the way I interpreted it was that it probably means that the album won't come out for several months, probably till the end of the year. Keep in mind, they're supposed to be releasing 3 albums in the next 3 years. So if they want to keep on track with that, which I'm not even sure if they're on track with that still, then they'd probably want to release a song or an album this year still. So I'm guessing maybe August, September, October, sometime around then, they'll likely want to release an album, right? And I'll do a whole speculation video on this in a future episode, so don't worry about that. Now, the last thing I wanted to mention is that he said that we might be playing some songs, plural, at some point this year on tour, right? So, not only are we going to get 1 single in September at least, but we're going to get multiple singles by then. Well, it sounds like we're going to. So, just lots of exciting news. This is basically like where we were at the beginning of all this talk about Music of the Spheres. When that first started, this is like that same feeling. So the ball is starting to roll with this. And I feel like we're just going to be keeping on getting more information and more information as the days go on. And it's just going to get more exciting. Think about all the new planets that we're going to get, all the new languages, how they're going to tease that, how they're going to tease the new songs, when they're going to be performing them. There's just so much to get excited for as a Coldplay fan. So I hope you're excited too. Now, as I mentioned, I'd love to do a speculation video on what's going to happen with this new album, what kind of information we have now, and what can we speculate going forward. So if you are interested in giving me what you think is going to happen, of course, you can comment below, or you can join the Discord, which I have a link in the description as well. We talk about fan theories and all that fun stuff. But just one last thing to add on to this video. Coldplay is set to perform this weekend on SNL. And I was thinking about that a little and thinking, you know, what are the chances that they release a single this weekend? And I don't know if that's possible. I don't know if that's in their timeline, but I think it's definitely something to look for. Specifically, like I said, if they're going to release a wave this year with this album, it might make sense that they release it this weekend. But I don't know. It's kind of a slower song. I don't know if it'll be as exciting, or maybe they made it super exciting. I don't know. Let me know your thoughts on that as well. Now, thank you so very much for watching. I appreciate you guys, and I'll see you again in the next video. Until then, peace.